welcome back. Back with another banger. It's the React Files. Hope you're having a good night. Let's get straight to it.
The TikTok ban has literally had the opposite effect. China and America have never been closer. Duolingo has seen a 216% spike in American users learning Mandarin and a 36% increase in US downloads as everyone flocks to RedNote. And that's impressive because you know how notorious English speakers are for not learning a second language. They've also started comparing their medical bills. And you can imagine how that went down. And after he said that an ambulance in China was $50 and $10 for an appointment and painkillers, bro somehow signs off with Luigi.
At the end, salute to Luigi and wish the best to you all.
Americans have also been asking if the social credit score is a real thing there, if China actually has a video game time limit ban, and if Temu was just a bunch of children that needed saving. You've got people on this app now pledging their allegiance to communist China. RedNote is literally what the US government feared TikTok would become, and they created this.
Shout out to Dylan Page. He's absolutely right. This is totally backfired.
TikTok is a huge national security concern. I can't think of a potentially more powerful propaganda tool.
Propaganda tool? Did he just say propaganda tool? I'm sorry, sir. I thought the national security threat was in terms of data collection. Here are some fun facts. Instagram, Facebook, Google, DoorDash, and Airbnb all collect more data than TikTok. TikTok has contributed more than $24 billion to U.S. gross domestic product and more than 224,000 jobs to the U.S. economy. Mind you, as of January 15th, the United States is over $36.2 trillion in debt. There are over 1.3 million creators that operate their businesses on TikTok. In less than 24 hours, 3.4 million American citizens volunteered their data to an actual Chinese communist app in protest of their own government. TikTok is not a publicly shared company. Meta is a publicly shared company. Members of Congress who voted on the TikTok ban are invested in Meta stock. Meet your politicians. Senator Markway Mullen purchased between $15,000 and $50,000 of Meta shares on January 2nd, 2024 and January 26, 2024. Mike McCall, who introduced the TikTok ban legislation, was a little bit sneakier about it by using his family's trust to purchase his Meta stock. Representative Byron Donald voted yay and purchased Meta stock on December 6th. Representative Greg Stanton voted yay and purchased Meta stock on November 9th, 2023. Representative Diana Harshbarger voted yay and purchased Meta stock on March 3rd, 2023. Representative Ro Khanna voted nay but purchased Meta stock on November 7th. Representative Dan Crenshaw voted yay and purchased Meta stock on December 2nd, 2022. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene voted yay and purchased Meta stock on December 30th. The list goes on and on. You guys can look it up. Members of Congress are actually required by law to disclose their financial transactions, including stock trades, under the Stock Act. Ironically, the purpose of that law is to make sure that Congress members do not make any major decisions if there's a personal financial benefit. The irony of fear-mongering a nation about the threat of Chinese communism by stripping them of their jobs, freedom of information, freedom of speech, freedom of open communication, freedom of discourse, and right to discern propaganda is wild. All while one publicly shared corporation that is notorious for controlling propaganda to literally puppeteer elections by unethically collecting our data lobbies Congress to vote on a ban to continue to monopolize where we receive all of our information. And the Congress members who voted for this monopoly were legally allowed to have shares in the stock! But it's totally normal the CIA lizard dumped $7 million into pushing this ban through because he went on Joe Rogan and talked about jujitsu. As for me, I was a broke singer-songwriter trying to make it in the music industry, and now I am one of those 1.3 million creators that can put food on the table because of TikTok. It provided me with the first equal opportunity platform to show my songs to the whole world. I didn't need to be Instagram famous. I didn't need to be some celebrity's kid. I didn't need to have a lot of money. I just needed to post a video of myself singing to my 140 followers. Thanks to TikTok, I have grown my audience to 14.7 million followers. I've accumulated over 270 million likes and billions of views on my music. I could sell tickets to my shows. I bought my first house from the money I made with my TikTok brand partnerships. My songs made it to top 10 radio because I promoted them on TikTok. I built a community of people healing from eating disorders, and with that community, I was able to stand up to a multi-million-dollar corporation called Victoria's Secret. I got to sing songs with first responders, doctors, small business owners, artists, kids, grandparents, Olympians, magicians, veterans, triple amputees. My TikTok account was not only mine, It was a place for other people's perspectives, for the kid I babysit to confront mean girls in her school. It was supposed to be something that I could show my daughter one day and be like, look, mommy made this. And you can do anything too. You can follow your dreams and you can change the world. This just feels so icky. And now I'm saying goodbye to the future that I built for my family, fair and square, with a baby on the way, so a bunch of corrupt, dirty politicians can feed their babies. Our greatest politicians could be focusing on genocide, poverty, human trafficking, homelessness. It is not about privacy or national security. It is all about control. China doesn't want to spy on people pooping while they watch a Get Ready With Me. The government doesn't even hate TikTok. In fact, most of the Congress members that voted to ban TikTok are actually on TikTok, as are all their spouses and children. What the government hates is losing money out of their own pockets. The government hates losing control of the information we receive. And most importantly, the government hates when we talk to each other.
Shout outs to Jax Writes Songs, blowing the lid wide open and exposing his rabbit hole.
TikTok will be banned in America. That's because America's top court has just rejected a last-minute bid from TikTok's Chinese owner, ByteDance. It upheld a law that Congress passed which requires TikTok's parent company to sell it in the US or else stop operating on 19th of January. That's one day before President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration, which, by the way, the TikTok boss is reportedly on the guest list for. If the ban holds, it means you won't be able to download TikTok if you don't already have it. If you do have it, it'll stop getting app updates, so bug fixes and software updates go out the window. The US government says that without a sale, TikTok could be used by China as a tool for political manipulation or spying. But TikTok argues that the ban would be a violation of free speech and denies any potential influence by the Chinese Communist Party. The incoming president is against the ban and said he'd seek a political solution, but we don't know how exactly he'd do that yet.
I don't think you guys understand the gravity of what's really happening here. When you have an entire nation of people that have been abused for most of their lifetime, a government that's shown they don't care about them, what do you think's going to happen when someone's kind to them? Next thing you know, in comes the strapping, handsome man, the Chinese man with all the answers. And it's already happening, isn't it? People are being welcomed on Red Note, and it's not just a few, it's a whole bunch of U.S. citizens. Now, whether that's genuine or not, that's a huge problem. And if you don't think the U.S. government is absolutely scrambling right now, they're losing their fucking minds. Because, see, they've lost the narrative. They already lost a bunch of control when people started turning against our ally Israel. And if you don't think it's got the oligarchy absolutely rattled, it does. How long do you think it's going to take before China gets blamed for some shit? An attack of some sort. Hell, maybe even a cyber attack. Because they have to pull back that narrative, don't they? When you got that beast backed off into a corner, he's definitely not gonna want to lose control. I guess we'll see what happens, but I can guarantee you TikTok isn't going anywhere.
Let me tell y'all a true story. If you someone watch this video to the end, you downloaded that app, TikTok. This is for entertainment purposes only. Let's go.
But I did see something.
What's that?
There was this huge drone.
Okay.
In the middle of nowhere, dropping off thousands of these. I have no idea what this
What's
is.
that, bro? Shh. Shut up. Don't say it.
That's America.
What?
What?
Huh?
That's America.
Shut up! Stop playing with me, son. TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only, and that's just a movie. They don't know what the hell they talking about. Yeah, you panicking, aren't you? They said that on Sunday. Shh! Shut up! This is supposed to be over with. Well, listen, I can't control that, and neither could you. Stop playing with me, son, so just let it go, guys. Don't worry about it. Shh! Shut up! I can't even speak. As a matter of fact, I should have even don't you say it. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game out here, guys, and you better delete that app. Nah, I'm just playing, guys. Download that app. The app is pretty cool. I heard people are already making money off it. Shh. Shut up. It's not a game out here, guys. But I tell you one thing. If I ever see one of my friends and they said that they just downloaded that, yeah?
Shout out to True Story 718, right on time. Thinking the same thing I was thinking. It's crazy how ironic this is.
I never thought that this would happen in my lifetime, but here we are. Americans, they're becoming awake. When you've been told all your life that your country is the best, your country is the best, your country is the best, And TikTok has put a mirror before you and showed you that your country is not the best. You're not living in a first world country like your government and your media that has kept you in this bubble that has separated you from the truth in the world. You're living in a third world country. Americans are starting to understand that they are not the best. They're seeing through TikTok what the world really looks like. They're starting to understand that actually the world is a way more beautiful place than America. They're starting to understand that their healthcare system is shit, their infrastructure is shit, their government is run by corporations Biden paid for. In your lifetime, you will probably never own a house outright. And I can go on and on and on. And make it worse now, because of the TikTok ban, you have been forced to migrate to Red Note. And you're understanding that the Chinese are not your enemy. And how they live is so much more amazing than you could ever dream in your life to live. You're starting to understand that Africans own their houses outright. The world is a beautiful place. And what you have, what you've been told for your whole life, is a lie. Your country is not the best. Your country is actually a third world country. Google it. Google the infrastructure of Europe. Google the infrastructure of China. And then Google the infrastructure of America. It's falling apart around you. As I speak right now, you're tired, you're worn out, you're depressed, mental health issues, can't get ahead. Everything around you is crumbling. No paid leave, no pregnancy leave. I mean, I can go on and on. What they've told you for all your life is a lie. And I'm so happy. I did never think it would happen in my lifetime that you would have an opportunity to realize this. It is not the best. There are beautiful countries out there. China is not your enemy. Africa is not your enemy. Cuba is not your enemy. Everything they told you is a lie. We are all connected. Don't let them separate you anymore. I am happy that you're awake. I'm happy that you're seeing that there's another world out there. A world that they never told you about. And when they told you about it, it was always to put themselves in a better light. That is the truth. And I'm happy that you're seeing the truth.
Wow. Shout outs to Slow Living Jane. Like, yo, we've been told one thing, and when it comes to the world, it's not the case. I think it's a beautiful thing.
You know, it's shit like this that makes me realize how cooked we really are. And after speaking against this for years on this app, I would hope that more people would come out of this delusion. What the fuck would it matter if Princess Diana was alive? What is she gonna do for us? JFK Jr., if he's alive somewhere, what the hell are these people gonna do for us? What does it matter if Elvis Presley is alive? Do you think they're just gonna resurrect these people? It's a psychological operation and millions of people fell for it. And it's because they're willing to hold on to hope that somebody, anybody, is gonna come save us, whether they're dead, alive, wearing a mask, from another fucking country. Where does it end? What they did here is to get you to doubt your own reality, trading your own intellect for the knowledge of these screens. And now you've got people so disillusioned that they literally believe that they're not even on this planet, that they're in some astral realm, coming up with all this insane shit that gets pumped out on this app on the daily. And believe me, it gets lots of numbers. But what's happened here as people people have been drove insane. They mixed truth with non-truth, and people keyed in on the shock factor shit, missing the entire thing. All that stuff about corruption was absolutely true, and there were people from decades ago trying to tell the American people this. It's nothing new, but they go and they rebrand it, and people go down the rabbit holes and they get lost, and that's the goal, so that when you go down the rabbit hole, you never come back out. The Great Reset wasn't something that was coming on the horizon. It's not a 2030 agenda. It's already happened, and it happened using shit like this. To all the celebrities that grifted off of this, shame on you. And to all the people that were involved in this, screwing over the minds of the American people, shame on you. And I hope there does come retribution for the shit you've done to these people.
God gave me a vision about TikTok being banned. You're going to want to watch this. There is a video that I'm going to play at the end of this. I'm going to hurry and share what God showed with me. This guy had a prophetic dream from God, pretty much saying the exact same thing that God told me. So I'll play that at the end. I was on a path. On the left, there was the TikTok logo, and it went zoop, straight up into heaven. And I'm just kind of waiting, and and it's not coming down. It's taking a little bit. And so I asked God, I'm like, Jesus, how come it's not coming down yet? What are you doing? He zoomed out so I could see around the whole world, and he showed me not a lot of Christians were praying for TikTok. And I heard him say, I'm using this as a lesson to increase faith in those people who were praying for TikTok. So he said, if it's taking a while, then pray for the people who do not have faith. He's pretty much going to use this as a testing season for them. So I went on my knees and I prayed for them, and I went to war on their behalf. So I did this for a few minutes, and then the heavens opened up again, and TikTok came out glowing. Like it was just like gold sparks coming out of it, and he shot it back down to the earth where it was originally. Jesus said, this time things will be different. Then immediately I saw all of these clips coming from all over the world, and I knew it came from TikTok, and they were believers, and they were speaking in tongues, and they were prophesying, and they were spreading the gospel. There was a revival in the Christian community pouring through TikTok, and there was fire all over the earth, like hellfire, just burning the earth. And I looked at Jesus, and I knew that there was a war going on. There was a war going on the earth, but there was also a war going on through TikTok, a spiritual war, a war between good and evil. But I look at Jesus and I say, but you get the victory. You win. And he smiled and he nodded at me. And right when that happened, this beautiful renewed earth starts to cover across the whole world. And there were still little pits of fire everywhere, but the earth overpowered everything. But I realized TikTok, now keep in mind the name, is going to be used and has been used as a way to spread the gospel across all nations, which if you don't know this is in prophecy. This has to happen before the end times. So many people, if you pay attention, have come to Christ. So many people now understand how to war against the enemy and the fruits of the Spirit, the gifts of the Spirit. They are now operating in the way they should be as Christians because of TikTok. Now again, God is using TikTok, and he made it an app for us where we are not censored. If you guys don't know yet, I hope that you do, but if you don't know, Jesus is coming back very, very, very soon. TikTok, social media in general, plays a huge role in the gospel to be spread to the ends of the earth. Now remember the name, TikTok. This was by design. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. The time's running out. The clock's running out. Christ is coming back. And a huge part of people finally waking up to the end times, that we are in fact on a timeline, TikTok, is the app TikTok itself. When I tell you God has a sense of humor, I mean, he really, really does. Yesterday is when I had this vision. One of the things that was really strong to me was like the fire. So that was at 8 p.m. last night. That very night at midnight, my mom, so she's in Hawaii right now. These do not happen all the time, okay? There was a volcanic eruption where she's staying at, and she sent us the news and she sent us photos of what's going on there. The red, the smoke, and the fire of the earth was exactly the same as my vision. This trip that my mom went on was a last minute thing. And when my mom told me she was going to go on this trip, I knew that she was supposed to be there. I said, God has something for you, Mom. I don't know what it is, but you're supposed to be on this trip. Little did I know that part of that reason was to give me confirmation for the vision he was going to give us. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just TikTok. It's not that big of a deal. You would think that if you don't understand the role that it plays for the end times, for the spreading of the gospel, and for Christians to wake up to how we're supposed to live. So just to kind of recap it all, the TikTok, it's gonna go up into heaven. I think that symbolizes that it's gonna look like it gets canceled for a short period of time. It's coming back. When it comes back, the spreading of the gospel is going to be on a whole other level. Just feel led to say this. We are in the end times. We still have time. Based off of the visions that I've seen about my future, everything kind of caps around the 15-20 year mark. So we have minimum at least 15-20 years. I think we have a little bit longer. And if you just pray and ask God, you'll know. He will flat out tell you. Do not get red note. That is exactly what our government wants you to do. That's exactly what Satan wants you to do. There's a huge deception thing going on with red note. And trust in God and pray to him and just be patient for TikTok to come back. I don't know how long this is going to take. He didn't give me a time frame. And revival, y'all, it's going to spark. Like I always say when it comes to prophetic things and anything, always pray and ask for confirmation. I never post things until I get confirmation. God used the Hawaii incident, that was crazy, as my confirmation, as well as this video that I watched, which was, very similar to what God showed me. Just pray and ask God, Lord, is this true? Is it not? What is your will?
On December 29th of 2024, the Lord gave me this dream. And this dream was concerning this app, TikTok. In the dream, I was laying in my bed and it seemed like I was on a TikTok live and I was doing a TikTok live battle. The battle was going good. We were having fun. We were cheering. We were excited. And my side was the red side and the blue side was the opponent side. I was in the dream, my side was winning. The red side was winning. The red side was completely consuming the blue side, right? And then all of a sudden, the blue side started winning. And then in the dream, the whole entire screen went black, right? It's like everything shut down. It went black. And I remember saying in the dream, oh my gosh, what happened? I wasn't panicking, but I remember asking what happened. And then all of a sudden, in a matter of seconds, the screen came back on. It's like it flashed back on, and it's like everything picked up where it left off. And all of a sudden, the blue side went from winning to my side. The red side was completely winning again, and we won the match, right? So here's the interpretation of that dream. So here's what that dream meant, right? When it comes down to the date of everything happening, right? I truly believe that the Lord will show me that it's going to be like a blackout, right? It's almost like the app is going to, out of nowhere, stop working. It's like it's going to suddenly stop working. You're not going to be able to pull up the app. People are going to be utilizing the app, and then all of a sudden it's going to go black, right? It's like things are going to shut down. But then immediately there's going to be a turnaround. There's going to be a turnaround, and the app is going to come right back. So this is the prophetic message of what's going to happen. Right. A lot of people have been asking me, what do you think is going to happen? What are you going to do with the stuff that you built up? Well, number one, I've been at peace because I already know what's going to happen. The Lord has already shown me, right, of what's going to happen, what happened with TikTok. It's going to leave and it's going to come right back. But also, too, you have to realize, like, the Lord controls the influence. The Lord controls everything. So if we built this on TikTok, we can build it anywhere else, right? But I've been at peace because I know exactly what's going to happen, right? There's going to be a blackout. It's going to be a temporary shutdown, but then it's going to come right back. And I really feel like that it's going to have something to do with when President Donald Trump gets into his office. I really think it's going to have something to do with that. I don't know really in details. The only details that I know that the Lord has shown me is that TikTok will temporarily shut down and then it will come right back.
Shout outs to Atara, Luxury Beauty, and Coach Williams, both bringing in prophetic messages regarding the TikTok ban. What's crazy is that I haven't heard anything about this eruption in Hawaii. The fact that her mom sent her pics after I told her having this dream made the hair stand up on my forearm. Kind of gave me goosebumps.
From only 150 feet in the air, pilots dodge buildings.
Tower on your left side.
Flying in a grid over the National Mall to scan for radiological or nuclear irregularities, threats like dirty bombs.
So you're trying to create a blueprint of what the radiation in Washington, D.C. looks like ahead of the inauguration. Correct.
Department of Energy scientist Jacqueline Brandon calls this low-flying helicopter one of just 2 of its kind, her office.
If we find a radiological irregularity, we'll investigate it even further.
Highly sensitive technology sets off alarms in the air.
That's an alarm. That is an alarm. It's a slight variation in our spectra is what it's saying.
On the ground, a mission led and meticulously rehearsed by the U.S. Secret Service at their training facility in Maryland. Agents role-playing worst-case scenarios.
Can we try a vehicle having a flat tire? Can we try someone having a heart attack? These are all the things we want to mentally prepare for because we have an immediate action for all those things.
Michael Thomas is the coordinator for the big day.
The amount of fencing and the amount of personnel that we bring in for this inauguration eclipses all other inaugurations that we have.
About 25,000 law enforcement and military personnel will safeguard the inauguration, including 7,800 National Guard authorized to protect the nation's capital and its 250,000 ticketed guests. Throughout the city, a ring of steel, 30 miles of anti-scale fencing. And along the icy Potomac, more than 25 Coast Guard vessels lined up.
Ready to deploy.
Ready to deploy.
Captain Patrick Burkett says teams are now prepping frozen waterways for patrol after a recent storm.
That put a lot of strain and stress on our resources and our personnel, and everyone knew that January was going to be a busy month.
Dubbed a national special security event demanding the highest level of federal protection, the inauguration comes just days after 2 others, January 6th electoral count and former President Jimmy Carter's funeral.
Yo, the glitter conspiracy is a rabbit hole you are not ready for. So I didn't know this, but there's legit only like 2 main manufacturers of glitter in the world, both of which are based in New Jersey, of all places. And yes, I'm talking like regular glitter, the same stuff you use in arts and crafts. One of these companies is like super secret and private, that apparently invented glitter themselves and is very hush-hush about everything. And the other is GlitterX. No one really thought much of it until it came out that we actually have a worldwide shortage of glitter back in 2018. Kind of a weird thing to be short of. So a journalist from the New York Times went in to interview the team at GlitterX to find out. She casually asked if she could tour the factory, and surprisingly, GlitterX told her absolutely not. Like, there was no debate about it. She was strictly not allowed to see how glitter was made, and wasn't even allowed to be in a nearby room to even hear how it's made. So instead, she was just left to interview a manager at the company, and things just kept getting sketchier. She asks the manager if she could tell her what industry serves as her biggest market, and the GlitterX rep instantly, without hesitation, tells her, no, I absolutely cannot tell you. Confused, the journalist asks her if she knows who their biggest customer is, and she replies with, oh god, yes, and you would never guess it. Let's just leave it at that. Asking why she can't talk about it, she responds by saying because they don't want anyone to know that it is glitter, and that if you looked at it, you wouldn't even know that it's glitter. The journalist then asks if you'd even be able to see the glitter at all in the finished product, to which the manager replies, oh, you'd be able to see something, but it's, yeah, I can't. And this interview single-handedly sparked the great glitter rabbit hole of the internet. Apparently, these clients that purchase glitter are all under a very strict confidentiality clause with GlitterX. They really do not want people to know that their products are made from the sparkly stuff. The industry these products are part of is clearly massive, yet no one knows what it is. So what even is glitter? By definition, it is aluminum metallized polyethylene terephthalate, essentially plastic that has been aluminized and shredded into tiny specks that sparkle. And it's used in a lot of things, from credit cards, passports, currency, football helmets, cosmetics, jet skis, granite countertops, even toothpaste, allegedly. But none of these are quite big enough to be this top industry buyer of glitter. One of the leading theories is that this biggest glitter industry is for boat paint, which many manufacturers do admit they use it in their boats. And they don't want people to know about it because of how much microplastics in the glitter these boats are really dumping into the ocean, which is a hot topic these days and is why they'd want to keep it such a secret. Others claim that it's being dumped into beaches to make the the sand sparkle or that it's just Crest toothpaste and we're rubbing the microplastics directly into our gums, as well as for use in military applications, which would obviously be highly classified, and this is where the theory takes an unexpected turn. Remember that super secret company that basically founded Glitter, the other New Jersey company that is in GlitterX? Turns out they're actually not as big of a secret as they'd like to be, called Meadowbrook Inventions, which was founded by Henry F. Rushman, a German-American machinist who invented modern glitter in the 1930s, and also happened to be part of the Manhattan Project, the highly classified operation that created the atom bomb. So the guy who invented glitter also helped create the world's first nuclear weapon. Who would have known? Meadowbrook's machines that make glitter are also commonly used for government contracts for products like rocket fuel, airplane brake shoes, and anti-radar chaff, which are chopped up fibers they shoot out of military planes that can block radar, redirect heat-seeking missiles, and can even be used to simulate poor weather conditions on radar. Good thing the government would never do that. Henry W. Rushman, the son of the original creator, was interviewed and even admitted to what they were really using glitter for all these years, specifically mentioning money, passports, toothpaste, and all those military applications like that anti-radar chaff, and even mentioned it was used in special batteries they produced for a military contractor called Picatinny Arsenal. Batteries that he claimed produce more electricity than any other battery we've ever known, and was pretty quiet about it after that. If there's anything we've learned about the government, it's that they love spending money, and their budget is essentially endless, especially if it's for the military. And given all these military uses of glitter, as well as its founder's roots in the Manhattan Projects and connection to atomic bombs, this one might be our answer. What other industry could be so secret that the New York Times article described it as CIA levels of obfuscation? How about the CIA itself? Perhaps once again the government is behind it all, using the same sparkly powder found in children's art projects for military applications, fighter jets, rocket fuel, money, and passports. Possibly even some new high-tech super battery they don't want the rest of us to know about. What a plot twist that would be if glitter of all things ends up being the government's top secret weapon to control the masses.
Wow, who would have made that connection? Shout out to Phil Spixel.
Bill, is it true you have the McDonald's Gold Card?
I do.
Can I see it?
Sure.
What?
That is so shiny.
How did you get this?
They actually sent it to me. My friend Warren Buffett got one before I did.
How about a sausage McMuffin with egg and cheese?
But then a few months later, they sent one to me. But I tend not to use it since I can afford to buy the food.
You can get a complimentary meal anywhere in the world.
Lifelong, yeah. You know, I'm kind of a quarter pounder with cheese guy.
And how many people have one of these?
Good question. Hopefully for them, not too many.
This might be a long shot. Can I borrow it?
You know, I think the rules are pretty clear. I can give you a gift certificate.
How much is this for?
$50.
$50?
Yeah, it's all yours.
Thank you.
Yeah, imagine meeting Bill Gates and only getting $50 from him. A gift card at that.
Our DNA can vibrate because of our ability to hold the extremes of emotion inside of us. Our DNA can vibrate at such a frequency, a high frequency. We can hold so much energy that we can literally take our experiences from here and part of our physicality into the fifth plane, fifth density. Now, when this happens, we radically will change what they know. Okay, this is why when people say, well, geez, Alex, why don't they just intervene? You know, there's more to that than you think, because when they come down here and they commingle with us, it not only changes our reality, it changes their reality. And a little piece of us goes back with them. Now, if most of you, let's just, for example, we're from Andromeda, okay? You all evolve, you all lift up, you all move into fifth density, and then you decide, I'm going home, and you're off. And we all march into Andromeda together. Their civilization, their reality will never be the same. And this is why many of the races, particularly the benevolents, are coming back, because they want a heads up. They want to know what to expect. They want to know who we are. Do you follow what I'm trying to say? Okay, now the negatives, they've got everything really nice where they live. You know, they got everything under control and they have their caste systems. All right? They don't want us walking in there. Let's say some of you are from Orion. They don't want you going in there and wreaking havoc. Start teaching them about free will, about freedom. They don't want that. Okay, just because they're at another level doesn't mean they're that all evolved. There's still crap there too. Okay? And they have a vested interest in control systems, control factors. And they don't want anybody rocking the cart, especially a race that they consider to be beasts. You know, and what's really interesting is they created their own undoing. They really did. By tinkering and everything else. And all it would take would be one of you to go in there and change one of these systems. Just your frequency alone. So you truly are royalty. You know, you guys are just awesome. And the war is about that. The war that's coming is literally because there are benevolent races that want our experience. They want our DNA. They want our emotions. They want us to be teachers. Because many of the benevolent races have lost their passion, folks. They've lost their passion. You know, for the Greys themselves, they thought that emotion was a weakness. So they literally bred it out. And now they're dying. Okay? They're dying and they're totally stuck on technology. Their children, they're not having children anymore because there's no passion in the body. The spirit cannot attach to the physical form. And there are other races like this. There are other races, and I was told by Mornay that the Pleiadians in 982 years in our linear time would start showing genetic breakdown because of so much interbreeding within the one race. Okay? We offer a booster to that. Because we have their genetics, you know, as well as others, but we also have the passion. You know, the ability to hold passion, which is an awesome creative force. So there are some that really want us to be there, and there are some that are terrified of us being there. And that's really what it's about. The effects of what's going on here between now and 2013 are long-term. Apparently, almost 400 years into our future, there's tyranny. So what happens here is a major consequence because of who we are. And whatever we do here on third density, moving into fifth density, we will literally change 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It'll have a domino effect all the way up. Because apparently that's where we originally came from before we moved into physicality here. So we have to be responsible. There's a much bigger agenda here in picture. And I'm sure that there's even more that I don't know that maybe another contactee in the future or somebody else has already said. You know, you have to be private investigators. You've got to be detectives. And I know that there's so much information out there and so much junk and there's so much great stuff out there. But you're literally going to have to weed it through yourselves. No one has all the answers. No one. There might be some that have more of the pieces of the puzzle. But the bottom line is, every single one of you in this room, even the people outside the room who aren't here sharing this, who have no clue, who still think ET is a joke, they have a piece of the puzzle. They just may not be able to bring their piece to the puzzle when we move into fifth density or plane.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you check out this one right here. Thanks again. Till next time.